In today's news, border reopening protocols detects one COVID-19 case amidst border reopening.
Town Ferry Terminal opening deferred to 2021, as well as the illegal sea turtle harvesting is strictly prohibited. Investigations ongoing as a video circulates, and the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force appeals to the public to identify persons with illegal firearms. All this and more when 284 News returns.
The wind! Oh!
What are the hell?
I'm freaking out!
Is time.
284 News.
Coming to you live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands.
What's poppin', what's really good, what's happening, what's up?
Davis has won it for the Lakers!
Welcome, viewers. It's Tuesday, December 8th, 2020. A terrific Tuesday to each and every one of you. I'm Ron Grant.
And I am Kyla Kinisha Forbes. We are coming to you live straight out of Tortola, British Virgin Islands. Now, in our news summary for today, reports of quarantine breaches might see fines increasing to $5,000. Also, Premier should have bodyguards just like the Governor and Chief Justice. This is according to Speaker of the House, Julian Willock.
Seaports will remain closed, unfortunately, to international traffic until January 20th. A lot of persons, I know, Kyla, are disappointed, but nevertheless, our cabinet and officials are doing what they see best. In addition to that, a tourist test positive on day 4 in the BVI, and pedestrian has been struck by a motorcycle in Hannah's estate. We have all the details of this and so much more.
Now, Ron, let's just go straight into the newscast because we have so much for you viewers. Now, in a live press conference just last evening, Premier of the Virgin Islands, Honorable Andrew A. Foy, and Minister responsible for Health and Social Development, Honorable Carmen Malone, appeared in a press conference to discuss the updates on the territory's border reopening. Now, during this press conference, Honorable Carmen Malone, Minister responsible for Health, as I said before, gave an update on the territory's epidemiology report. Now, viewers, listen in.
As of today, December 7, 2020, I am happy to report that a total of 8,601 persons have been tested, or actually samples have been tested at the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital Laboratory. Of the samples tested, we now have a record of a total of 74 cases, positive cases in the Virgin Islands, with 1 active case to date, 72 recovered, and 1 death. On November 26, you'll remember, I reported that we had 1 active case, which was a returning resident already in quarantine. That person has now been deemed as recovered. The latest active case, which was discovered today, was an imported case, that of a male tourist who was discovered after the completion of the 4th-day test while in quarantine. This individual and the only other person, a female occupant of a marine vessel, have since returned safely to the port of embarkation and here in the Virgin Islands, and are now in quarantine. Both persons are being interviewed for further contact tracing if required. We are pleased to know that all of the protocols have been properly followed, so that, and this is why we wanted to make sure that this happened, so that the contact tracing is not extensive throughout the territory.
Now, Ron, that was Honorable Carmen Malone basically speaking to the numbers here in the territory as it pertains to COVID-19. Yes. As he reported, 74 cases have been reported in the BVI, 72 recovered, 1 active case currently and 1 death to date. Now, he spoke about the active case that the territory has currently.
Yes.
Now, upon arrival into the territory, a male tourist was quarantined on a vessel in a controlled environment. He was also accompanied by a female passenger aboard the vessel. The tourist tested positive after the 4-day quarantine, which is mandated by the BVI government. The tourist and the other occupant have since returned to land and have been placed in a government-controlled quarantine facility. And at this time, local health professionals are carrying out contact tracing measures. Now, Ron, upon opening the borders, of course, persons are aware that we would have seen some sort of rise in our COVID-19 cases. But the good thing is this was caught while this person was in quarantine before entering into the community. So this is a good thing thus far.
Well, one of the things that we have to continue to look at, Kyla, is making sure that the protocols set in place are strictly adhered to. Throughout the course of any scenery, protocols have the tendency to somehow be breached, and I think officials in the Ministry of Health need to make sure that by their account, on all accounts, that protocols are stuck to, and that's all they can do to ensure the safety of our residents and visitors, of course.
I do agree. Now, viewers, in that same press conference, Honorable Malone revealed that the BVI has secured 2 sources for the COVID-19 vaccine. Hear all about these 2 sources. Listen in.
Persons have been paying keen attention to the world's response to COVID-19 and in particular the arrangements that are being explored for a COVID-19 vaccine. The British President has secured 2 sources of the COVID vaccine. The United Kingdom has indicated that they will procure approved vaccines for the population of this territory. In addition, the territory has signed on to the WHO PAHO COVAX, which guarantees access to the vaccines to participating countries.
Now, Ron, here we see the minister responsible for health speaking to the fact that the BVI has secured 2 sources of getting the COVID-19 vaccine. Of course, we've been speaking a lot about the vaccine this week, and later down in the newscast, we'll be looking at how the UK have administered its first COVID-19 vaccine over in England. But I think this is a conversation that I think persons in the BVI must have. It would be great to see what are the views of the people on the street to really know what are their thoughts on the COVID-19 vaccine, and really and truly, how do they feel about taking it?
Well, Kala, you're absolutely right. Not only do persons and residents need to be having the conversation, but I think just like the Honorable Minister, on a government level, those conversations need to be had all across the world, all across the region. There is going to be a fight for vaccines.
Right.
Who can get it faster? Who can get the best? And I think that we might be a little bit late in the conversation, but it's better late than never to secure, if the territory wishes and so desires to secure a certain amount. We see where over in St. Kitts, the government, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harrison, his government has allocated and sent and paid some $800,000 a few months ago towards the vaccine, which shows you they're simply putting their money where their mouth is.
Right.
And I think when we progress into that level, that's what we should be working towards if we're serious about making the vaccine available to residents.
Good point.
Continuing on the local scene, travelers eagerly awaiting the update for the opening of the Town Ferry Terminal found out that the original 8th of December opening date has been deferred to 2021. Now, the news of the opening date deferral was announced in a press conference on December 7th with the Premier and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Andrew Foy of the British Virgin Islands, and the Minister of Health and Social Development, the Honourable Carvin Malone, really outlining Cabinet's decision for the border reopening. A new target date of January 21st, 2020 has been set for the opening of the Town Ferry Terminal only to incoming international visitors until all performance objectives for the opening are met. Now, Cabinet decided that all visitors would enter the territory via the Terence B. Lethem International Airport up to the 21st of January 2020, in line with existing entry protocols unless approved under the existing arrangements. Now, it was also stated that Cabinet requested that Within 1 week, the permanent secretary in the Premier's office and the managing director of the BVI Airports Authority will input from the Health Services Authority, that's with input, from the Health Services Authority Operations Center, submit a plan and timeline for the reopening of the Town Ferry Terminal to incoming terminal visitors for the 21st of January 2020. Kyla, again, this news comes as a disappointment to many persons, especially for those of us who are frequent travelers to the U.S. Virgin Islands, day trippers particularly. But again, the government of the Virgin Islands, through the cabinet, Honorable Andrew Foy and his cabinet, has seen it fit to postpone, defer the reopening of the sea borders, and we have no chance, or no choice rather, but to respect their decision. I think in the interim, I don't think it's a bad decision. With the reopening of the airports, we do need to see how we're managing traffic and managing persons coming into the territory, and we continue to wish our leaders the very best.
Of course, I agree with you, Ron. I think it's really, I think persons are saddened by the news, especially coming one day before actually expecting
That's the problem,
for the seaport to open. I think many persons had plans, were really looking forward to the reopening of the seaport on the 8th of this month. But as you said, I think the government has access to that information that the everyday man might not have. And I do think that slow and steady wins the race. And I think that the reopening of the airport is a start, and we can learn from that, and then we can go from there.
Good. Not too slow, though, because we'll be in last place, and we don't want that.
That's
Still ahead.
true.
Illegal sea turtles are harvesting, and that's strictly prohibited. Investigations ongoing as a video circulates. And of course, the U.S. Governor Albert Bryan to be among the first to take a COVID-19 vaccine in the USVI. We have all the details of this and so much more. You're watching 284 News.
Hear the Christmas bells ringing? Are you listening? Right Way Food Markets is giving back up to $10,000 to you, and yes, you. Spend $50 or more in any one of our locations for a chance to win one of two $500 store vouchers each week. And there's more. On the day before Christmas, 2 lucky persons will win $1,000. Just scan the QR code to upload your receipt, or simply drop it into the entry box to win. This promotion ends on December 24th. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! I am a small boy to
Viewers, welcome back. You're watching 284 News. In a Government Information Services release, Director of Agriculture and Fisheries, Mr. Theodore E. James, has said that his department was made aware of a video in circulation regarding the illegal capture of 7 green turtles, which have since been rescued and released. Mr. James said investigations into the matter are ongoing and is reminding the public that no person shall remove from the fishery waters, expose for sale, sell, purchase, or have in possession any undersized turtle or catch leatherback sea turtles or larger head sea turtles on which there is a moratorium. Now, a moratorium, viewers, simply means that these sea turtles are strictly prohibited from being caught at any time, even during turtle season from December 1st, 2020 to March 31st, 2021. Now, underseas means a shell length less than 24 inches for green turtle and less than 15 inches of the hawksbill. The director said, and I quote, "A person licensed to fish in the territory by the department must be approved to capture turtles within their license conditions. Not all licensed fishers possess this approval, and buyers are responsible to inquire and to ensure that intended purchases are legal." Now, our newsroom received the very daunting video of a person counting literally about 15 leatherback turtles allegedly on Joss Van Dyke, which really raised the alarm initially and issued the statement by the Director of Agriculture. Take a look.
that one, the biggest one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is ready? And 9.
I think you're conking already.
From there ready? Alright then. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
But I believe it's 15.
Let me check again. Okay, one up there.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, it's 15.
Viewers, that was the video being circulated and of course is sent to our newsroom, which sparked the conversation awareness on the illegal purchase and not purchase but capture of turtles. Akila, a very daunting video. When we look at it and we look at our waters, when we talk about securing our seas, it is very important that officials and of course residents understand the importance of matters such as this. It is unfortunate that it took this to have the Agriculture Department issue a statement. However, we see where that was literally 15 turtles, and I'm not sure, I'm not understanding where persons feel as though it's okay to do stuff like that, but nevertheless, perhaps when persons are not on guard and officials are not on guard, situations like this could happen. However, in the official report, as mentioned, the situation has been handled. Reportedly, many of the turtles, 7 of them, have been able to take back to the shore, and we continue to encourage persons, of course, to report illegal fishing. You must contact the Department of Agriculture and Fisheries at 468-6123. Of course, there was another very graphic video showing the intestines of the turtles, which we're not going to show. It just really brings to fruition the fight for marine life and natural resources.
Ron, these videos were very daunting indeed, and I think some persons might watch it and wonder, well, it's turtles, but I think persons need to understand the importance of our marine life in the BVI and the trickle effect that it can have. So I think persons need to be aware of the law and to follow the law as it pertains to our ecosystem and our marine life here in the BVI.
Could not agree with you more.
Now, as we move on, the Food and Drug Administration, which is the FDA, is set to approve a COVID-19 vaccine for use in the United States and its territories this week. Now, Ron, we've been speaking a lot about vaccines, and I think that going forward for the next few weeks or probably months, we'll be hearing much more about it. And over in the USVI, the Bryan administration on Monday sought to reassure Virgin Islanders that the vaccine will be safe for use following rumors making the rounds claiming that Virgin Islanders were being used as test subjects. Now, speaking during the administration's COVID-19 response update on Monday, Dr. Hunt Caesar, which is the medical director at the Department of Health, said talks in the community that a vaccine will be given experimentally to Virgin Islanders is entirely baseless and false. She said, and I quote, "There will be no guinea pig trials in the Virgin Islands. The experiments are done, and we were not participants in the clinical trial," she said. Dr. Caesar cautioned those who said this that she is publicly denouncing these claims. Now, she said this approach discourages immunization of the people of the Virgin Islands and decrease the chances of the territory developing herd immunity. She also said, and I quote, "Without the proper knowledge surrounding the vaccine development process, this behavior is irresponsible and will further contribute to the rise in deaths and long-term complications of COVID-19 and the disproportionate rates amongst persons of ethnic minorities," she said. Now, the rumor first started making the rounds in the territory early in November to help dispel the erroneous information. A newspaper over in the USVI wrote an article said no Virgin Islands will not be used as test subjects for coronavirus vaccine. Now, the story detailed the painstaking process of the COVID-19 vaccines go through, though on a much shorter timetable than other vaccines, whose timetable is traditionally between 8 to 10 years. Now, Dr. Caesar said that the Virgin Islands is within the highest category of the most affected by the virus. She said, and I quote, "The goal of the vaccine is to end that reality today." Now, Ron, we see where over in the Virgin Islands, over in the USVI,
Yes.
that is, we're kind of having some battle as it pertains to information, correct information, beliefs. And I think that's something that, yes, we're hearing about it over in the USVI, but something that might happen all over the world.
I agree.
As the story stated, vaccination takes years to be produced, and this one being produced in less than a year, that raised some question. But the fact that Governor Albert Bryan pledges to be amongst the first, I think that speaks volume as a leader in general.
Well, it might speak volume to that of being a leader. We've seen where President Bush, President Obama, and President Clinton have all volunteered to take the COVID vaccine publicly in a measure to encourage other persons to take it. And I get that initiative. At the end of the day, I think in the final analysis, taking the vaccine will, of course, come down to personal preference.
Agreed.
In addition to that, we realize where travel is important and travel is essential, it may almost want to come to a point where it's essential to travel because it's so highly regulated and highly sought out. So we have to continue to monitor it. But I must ask you a personal question. On your end, if the vaccine were to be available for the territory of the Virgin Islands, would you take the vaccine?
I think that's a conversation that I haven't really thought about, to be honest with you, because I think just doing your own research is very important for viewers. But I think in general, I think that persons, as you said, start having those conversations. Don't wait till, and it really is up to personal preference, as you said. Now, viewers, still ahead, the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force appeals to the public to identify persons with illegal firearms, and the UK administers its first COVID-19 vaccine. All this and so much more when 284 News returns.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works. Viewers, welcome back. You're watching 284 News. On the local scene here in the British Virgin Islands, the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force out of Tortola BVI continues to appeal to the general public for information into the identity of the individuals in possession of illegal firearms as it continues its fight to remove guns from the streets. Now, within the past week, several incidents involving firearms were reported, used, and even discharged, which is evidence that there are a number of these illegal weapons on the streets. Now, Sunday morning, 1 week ago, 2 young males were attacked by gunfire while on their scooters near Spring Bay. Fortunately, they sustained life-threatening injuries. In addition to that, on Saturday, just after midnight, 2 masked males, both carrying firearms, robbed an establishment in Seacoast Bay, resulting in cash and a handbag being taken. No injuries were reported. Later that afternoon, a female reported that her ex-boyfriend pointed a handgun at her, threatened her, and allegedly shot at the vehicle she was driving while in the West End area. On that very same day, the sound of gunshots were heard outside of the the East End police station soon after two persons entered seeking assistance for an earlier dispute. One shell was recovered at the scene. Now, finally, just the other night, 3 men were arrested on suspicion of discharging a firearm after 6 shots were heard in the Bruce Bay area. In this year alone, the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force has seized some 21 illegal firearms. Persons, again, with information about the identity of the individuals responsible for Friday's shooting or those in possession of illegal firearms are asked to contact the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force Intelligence Unit at 368-9339. Again, all information is said to be held in the strictest of confidence.
Now, Ron, here we see the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force pleading to the people of the Virgin Islands, and really and truly the police force has really been pushing the mandate of see something, say something. And in this instance, it's really know something, say something, I guess. I think it's our responsibility as just residents of the BVI to want a safer BVI in general.
Well, I'd like to take this opportunity and I'd like to say to the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force as well that they need to do a much better job in being, just like we continuously say, all information will be kept in the strictest of confidence. In my daily routine and routes with speaking to residents, I know many residents who have called the Royal Virgin Islands to report various incidents, and one of the first very ignorant questions that they're asked is who's speaking, who's calling. That does not speak, ladies and gentlemen, to the information and the intelligence that we speak of. So that's the first instance, an issue that needs to be addressed. If you want the general public to come forward with information, you have to secure and make us feel secure in reporting incidents. It's as simple as that.
If that is the case, I think that is great advice at the end of the day.
It is.
Yes. Now, in our last story for today, we've been talking about it. COVID-19 vaccines. We see where British health authorities rolled out the first doses of a widely tested and independently reviewed COVID-19 vaccine. Tuesday, starting a global immunization program that is expected to gain momentum as more serums win approval. Now, the first shot was given to Miss Margaret Keenan, who turns 91 next week at the university's hospital Conventary. Now, one of several hospitals around the country that are handling the initial phase of the program on what has been dubbed as V-Day. Now, in a quote, it said, "I feel so privileged to be the first person vaccinated against COVID-19, said the former jewelry store assistant who wore a surgical mask and a blue Merry Christmas t-shirt decorated with a cartoon penguin wearing a Santa hat and a red scarf. She also said, "It's the best early birthday present I wish for because it means I can finally look forward to spending time with my family and friends in the new year after being on my own for most of the year." End quote. The first 800,000 doses are going to people over 80 who are either hospitalized or already have outpatient appointments scheduled along with nursing home workers. Others will have to wait their turn. Now, public health officials have asked the public to be patient because only those who are most at risk from the virus, that is, will be vaccinated in the early stages. Medical staff will contact people to arrange appointments, and most will have to wait until next year before there is enough vaccinations to expand the program. And I think, Ron, this really speaks to what we were talking about earlier, the fact of looking at who will get these vaccines.
And who will get first preference and who will be eligible,
because we're still in the approval process and there's only so much to go around.
And there will definitely be a fight against regions to secure and to get as many vaccines as possible.
That is very true. Now, viewers, that is it for today's news roundup. I am Kyla Kenesha Ford.
And I'm Ron Grant. It's always a pleasure bringing to you honest and impartial news out of Tortola in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. A happy Tuesday to each and every one of you. Have a good rest of the day. And of course, we'll see you tomorrow. We are a source for honest and impartial news, both locally, regionally, and of course, internationally. Bye-bye. Happy Tuesday.
Bye.